Doomguard, a suspect is asleep in an interrogation room with half a dozen Thors ready to rip his throat out on a drop of a dime. Doom's personal army of cops have finally made headway. They got a lead to the Beta Ray Thors murder. They finally found their first suspect. After pulling up records, the Thors only found a few petty criminal charges. No domain of birth. No family or gang affiliations. Last known residence was the cardboard box in the alley where Ray was found dead. Ruined Thor demands for a couple of minutes alone with a suspect, but Thorleif denies some of his specialty in cruel interrogations. Ruinly marches out of the room angered by the rejection. Thorleif is positive that the suspect killed his partner. This man, known only as Loki, has shown his expertise with magic, but it's interrogation time and Thorleif marches into the room. The interrogation begins and Thorleif asks his list of questions. Who is Jane Foster? Why did she have to die? Loki responds with his condescending tone. He brings up the fateful night when Beta Ray Thor was murdered. You should have heard the way he screamed. Angered at the remark, Thorleif grabs Loki by the collar and slams him into the wall. How did you kill him? He shouts, but the mischievous prisoner states that Ray was beaten to death. A strong Thor who wields a magical hammer was defeated and bludgeoned. Loki may be many things, but he is clearly not strong enough to take down a Thor. I've seen the bodies. I know exactly what you're capable of. You! Thorleif stops his aggression and he takes a seat. He apologizes for losing control. That's not like him. Instead, he emphasizes with the suspect. He says that he wants to learn from Loki. That he is in awe of the man. Thorleif wants to know everything. Loki is shocked. Then amused. Ha! Wow, does that sort of thing actually work? Sometimes. Loki responds by telling the Ultimate Thor that he had been helping him, moving the bodies in strategical locations for the Ultimate Thor to find. He even called in anonymous tips. Loki did this because he wanted to show the Thors the truth. Loki sleeps in a cardboard box and he lived his life in the shadows, but he knows he is meant for more. That greatness was taken from him. The Prince of Lies does not like being lied to, he states. There are more bodies, more Donald Blakes. Would you like to see them? Thorleif heard enough and he leaves the Thunder Room. He now has a mission. According to the prisoner, the bodies were moved to one place. So where else would they be if not the Deadlands, where the zombie-fied heroes and villains call their home? Arriving on location, Thorleif discovers a name badge belonging to their female victims. Looking forward, his stomach churns as he bears witness to an ocean of skeletons. It's true what Loki said. The name of these two victims causes the Thunderer to quiver. He has no idea why. Suddenly, a blow from behind nearly knocks Thorleif out cold. That was no zombie. It felt like being sucker punched by a dozen Hulks all at once. He returns the attack by throwing his hammer right back at his foe. Then his heart sank. There's no mistaking it. The sound of Uru clanging on Uru. Thorleif takes on a blow to the face by a hammer, and the attacker finally shows himself. Metal clashes upon metal as the two Thors engage. Rooney is shown to the attacker, and he admits that he had killed Beta Ray Thor. Surprised at this revelation, Thorleif loses his footing, and the Rune King Thor takes advantage. He takes down the Ultimate Thor with a couple clean swings from his hammer, and Thorleif is floored. Thorleif, barely conscious, takes a look upon his fellow Thorsmen, and the last thing he sees before passing out is the swing of the weapon of the gods. Time passes, and the once empty field begins to fill itself with mindless zombies craving for fresh brains. An undead reaches over to have itself a meal, but a swing of a blade removes its head from his body. Thor the Unworthy has arrived. I thought I told you to drop this case. Looks like you didn't listen, he states. Good. Maybe now we can get some work done. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Comic Island. My name is Joey, and today we're reviewing and recapping Thors issue 3. Man, I've been waiting and anticipating this issue. So last time, we left off with the Thors capturing Loki, and what happens next in a buddy cop story? The interrogation, and this scene by far is my absolute favorite. Our review videos are generally 6 to 9 minutes long on average, so we can't get into all of the nitty-gritty details, but this one page with tons of dialogue was so good. This is how you can tell a story is really captivating you. Since our video lightly grazes over the issue, I highly recommend that you pick up this issue since there's just so much juicy dialogue that I can't go over. So Loki basically alludes to the pre-Secret Wars world the entire time. This explains so much. From what I gathered, he is a 616 Loki that lost memories, but small fragments of his old world still resonates within him. And it's clear that Thor feels the same way every time he hears the name Jane Foster or Donald Blake. As you guys may know, I don't follow the Ultimate Universe, but I'm starting to really want to know the backstory of this Ultimate Thor. And we also got Beta Ray Thor's killer revealed at last. It's Rooney, the old cynical one, and his partner, the Thors Destroyer? That's probably not his name, but that's what I'm gonna call him. I love this revelation, but it opens up another question. What's the motive? What does Rooney have to gain from killing Beta Ray Thor? And also, Loki didn't admit to killing any Jane Fosters. He only gathered their remains. So did Rooney kill those 5 Jane Fosters from issue 1? I was honestly hoping for Jane Foster from the 616 to make an appearance, but she still hasn't arrived yet. Last we heard, the heroes and villains were blasted off to some random domains in Battleworld. We know that Peter Quill from the 616 is running around with Kitty Pryde from the Age of Apocalypse. I haven't been keeping up with the other tie-ins, so I don't know where the other heroes are, but I would assume that Jane Foster from the 616 would make an appearance in this tie-in. If she doesn't make an appearance, I would be pretty bummed out. But that's just my opinion. What do you think about this issue? Please let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time in another Secret Wars tie-in.